sales manager of mine once told me to find out what successful people are doing and do that.
So today we're sharing what some of the most financially successful members of the queer community, transgender folks, are doing with their finances.
You're listening to Queer Money episode number 357, and this continues our ongoing Queer Money bonus series featuring the Motley Fool Debt-Free Guys LGBTQ Money Study.
Now, on with the show. So the Motley Fool Debt-Free Guys LGBTQ Money shows that many transgender Americans are not only better prepared, but are also doing better financially than almost every other demographic of the queer community.
Yeah, this is exciting to see. They're more likely than the rest of us to have a retirement account, life insurance, health insurance, or disability or critical care insurance, and as likely as the general population to have a brokerage account or a government pension. That is a solid financial plan.
Right. And as we shared back on episode 353 of the podcast, it seems that many of the trans respondents to our study who were doing well financially were individuals who were a little bit older, and the majority of those were white individuals. But it doesn't negate that there's a lesson that we can learn from these folks that all of us should be taking advantage of.
Yeah, they can act as an inspiration for the rest of us and set a tone for what we can all do.
Right. And when these trans folks are doing what they're doing, are creating a foundation for a solid financial plan. So we want to see, how can we follow in their footsteps? What are some things that we can or should be doing? So we tracked 5 things that they are doing really well, and we wanted to share what these 5 steps are so you can start to create a simple plan for yourself.
Yes, because the idea is if they can do it, we can also do it too.
Right.
So step number 1, trans folks are more likely to have a basic banking product, such as a checking or a savings account. So let's do that too,
Right.
possibly with our sponsor, Capital One.
Right. And that's a pretty easy one. Number 2, build an emergency savings account in a high yield savings account, something that trans folks are doing more often than the rest of us. Again, this kind of focuses on the basic banking products that all of us should and can have.
Exactly. Number 3, it's currently open enrollment season for most of us, right, with our employer. So let's take advantage of those benefits. Trans folks are taking advantage of all the benefits that their employers are offering. We need to do the same things too. So some things to consider right now is to go to the HR department, activate your company sponsored retirement plan, activate your health insurance or increase your coverage for both of those, activate any other benefits that your company may offer, such as life insurance and or supplemental disability or critical care insurance. They even sometimes offer discounts on legal services that you might be able to take advantage of, and a whole host of other benefits that most people, not just the queer community, often don't take advantage of.
Right. And the reality is that the more of these benefits that we do take advantage of, the more we will have a solid financial foundation for not just now, but also for our future. Then number 4, again, this is a little bit of tough love. We've talked about this before, but if your company does not have a company sponsored retirement account, such as a 401k, a 403b, or a 457, it may be time to bounce. It is still an employee marketplace out there. And even though we're hearing numbers, especially from some of these big tech companies, that layoffs are happening, there are still thousands, tens of thousands of companies out there looking for new employees. They are still growing their employee base. Look for those companies as well as ones that have this access to an employee-sponsored retirement account.
Exactly. Then step number 5, set up a will or estate plan to protect your loved ones even after you're gone. This is a great way that more of us can help build generational wealth within the queer community, especially if we don't have anyone to inherit our money to after we do pass away. So that money can actually go to somebody, another LGBTQ person who might not have the support from their family either, and that can help put them in a more solid financial plan, and eventually that can trickle out throughout the whole entire community. Stay tuned for your Queer Money takeaway from this episode.
Thank you again for listening to the Queer Money Podcast. Here's your takeaway from this episode. Through our current network, such as our employer or other organizations such as social groups, nonprofits, most of us have access to some benefits that we're not using. Often these benefits can help improve our financial security. Start taking advantage of and asking questions to see what you have access to so you can start using these benefits.
Exactly. Then join us next Tuesday when we share tips on how to successfully manage your money during this high inflation holiday season. And then next Thursday when we share how LGBTQ plus couples split their finances. This is a little peek into how David and I split our money. Thank you and have a great weekend.